They all laughed when he said he would climb the mountain. You? They sneered. You're too slow. You'll give up by the second mile. But they didn't know what he was carrying. They didn't know what he'd promised. And they didn't know that some races aren't about speed. They're about heart. This is the story of Raghu, the slowest boy in his village, who did the impossible. The story. In a quiet village near the foot of the Himalayas lived a 15-year-old boy named Raghu. He wasn't known for anything special. He was short, quiet, and always the last one to finish anything: school assignments, errands, races. Kids mocked him. Adults ignored him. Even his own father would shake his head and mutter, "That boy moves like a snail." But Raghu had something no one else noticed: an unshakable will. His grandfather, Dadaji, was his best friend. Every night, they'd sit under the stars, and Dadaji would tell him stories of courage, of climbers who scaled mountains with nothing but faith. One night, Dadaji coughed harder than usual. His hands trembled. The next morning, Raghu found him staring at the mountain that loomed beyond the village. One day, Dadaji said, "I wanted to climb that peak, but I never did. My legs grew weak, and my time passed." There was a pause. "But you," he smiled, "you'll do it for me, won't you?" Raghu nodded, not knowing how or when, but knowing this, he would do it. When Dadaji passed away 2 weeks later, the house felt silent, except for that promise. It echoed in his heart like thunder. The villagers moved on, but Raghu had already decided. He would climb that mountain, alone. No shortcuts, no training, just one step at a time. When he told his classmates, they burst into laughter. "You can't even run across the school field. You'll get lost by lunchtime. You'll be back crying before sunset." But Raghu didn't respond. He packed a small bag, tied Dadaji's shawl around his neck, and started walking. No fanfare, no goodbyes, just a boy and a mountain. The climb was brutal. The first day his legs ached. The second day he slipped twice on wet rocks. On the third day, rain soaked him to the bone. Every night, he curled up under trees, shivering, hungry, and alone. But every morning he got up and took one more step. He remembered Dadaji's stories. He whispered them to himself for strength. And with each step, his fear faded and something else took its place: belief. Meanwhile, the villagers assumed he'd given up. 3 days? He probably turned around in 3 hours. Someone joked at the tea stall. But on the 7th day, something happened. A shepherd boy, tending goats on the hill, saw a figure near the summit. Small, steady, still climbing. He ran back to the village, breathless. "I saw him. He's almost there." No one believed him, until more people saw it the next day. And on the 10th day, as the sun rose, the silhouette of a boy stood tall on the peak, holding a torn shawl in the wind. It was Raghu. The village froze. The boy they laughed at. The one they dismissed. He had done it. He had carried his promise to the top of the world. When he returned, they didn't cheer. They didn't clap. They stood in silence, ashamed, inspired. The headmaster called him to the school stage that week. He said, "Raghu didn't win by being the fastest. He won by not stopping." Raghu looked at the students who once mocked him and said just one thing: "Everyone's running, trying to be first. But I learned something on the mountain: if you just don't quit, you'll get where others give up." Ending moral: slow and steady wins the race. Not because it's easy, not because the path is short, but because those who move with purpose, even if slowly, go further than those who rush and fall. So the next time someone says you're too slow, remember Raghu, and keep climbing.